You won't believe what just went down on live TV. Imagine this. You're sitting comfortably on your couch, sipping on your favorite drink when suddenly Spice. Yes, the same Spice who's been stirring up drama left and right does something so insane. Even the camera crew couldn't handle it. What happened next? Was it an accident, or did she deliberately unleash chaos on Karlie Redd live right in front of millions of viewers? Well, buckle up, because the answer is nothing short of wild. You see, Spice, who's no stranger. No controversy has just taken it to far this time, and we've got all the details. Spice didn't just raise her voice, she raised her hand. That's right, folks. A full-on attack as she charged toward Karlie, fist flying and words sharper than a blade. And it's the worst part, it was all broadcasted live. But here's there'll kicker after the dust settled. Spice was hauled off in handcuffs, rested on the spot right under the glaring lights of the camera. Now, what could have possibly triggered such a violent outburst? Live television, was it planned? Or was this just another stunt to stay in the headlines? Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started, and you won't want to miss the shocking details that follow. Hold on to your seats, because what we're about to dive into might just be the most shocking thing to hit social media this week. That's right, Spice. The iconic, controversial, and notorious reality star has gone and done it again. This time, however, it's no petty drama or petty words. No, Spice has crossed a line that even her fiercest critics didn't see. Coming, she's gone full beast mode on Karlie Redd, and not just in the comfort of their own homes, but right in front of a live audience. Talk about live drama. Right now, let's take a moment to set the stage. Spice has never been the one to shy away from controversy. Let's not forget the explosive moments she's had on past reality shows. Whether it was her endless back and forths with other cast members, her no-holds-barred attitude, or her infamous on-screen moments that had people glued to their screen, Spice is known for stirring the pot. But what we witnessed during this fateful TV broadcast takes the cake. Was it a momentary lapse of judgment, a case of her temper getting the best of her, or was this all just another planned spectacle designed to make headlines and keep the cameras rolling? Whatever the reason, Spice's attack on Karlie Redd was a wild spectacle that left everyone, viewers, fans, and even the crew, completely stunned. You see, Karlie Redd, love her or hate her, is no stranger to being at the center of controversy. Either she's been involved in multiple heated exchanges over the years, but Noon expected this kind of explosive reaction from Spice. The altercation itself was pure chaos. It wasn't just a slight disagreement or a typical reality TV squabble. No, Spice took it to a whole new level. We're talking fist-flying voices raised and an intensity that could have matched any major pay-per-view event. So how did this all go down? What triggered this massive showdown? Was this all part of a larger conspiracy, or was Spice really just acting out in pure rage? Let's break it down. Let's rewind to the moment right before the madness erupted. The energy in the studio was palpable, and anyone watching could feel it. The producers, the crew, and the audience, they all sensed something was about to happen. Spice and Karlie were already on edge, but it was that one comment, that one look, that pushed it all over the edge. It wasn't just the typical playful banter. No, this was personal. You could see it in their yes. The tension was thick enough to cut through with a knife. Spice, known for her furry personality and unpredictable behavior, clearly had some serious issues with Karlie that day. But what? Was it about what set Spice off so badly? The moment that led to the physical altercation began with Karlie Redd making a comment that, let's just say, didn't sit well with Spice. Now, we're not sure if this was a pre-planned line or just an off-the-cuff remark, but it was clear that Karlie hit a nerve. As soon as those words left her mouth, Spice's face twisted in pure disgust and fury. Was it something about their past history, maybe a personal remark or an old grudge? We may never know for sure. But one thing is certain: Spice lost it. No sooner had Karlie said whatever she said, Spice was on her feet throwing punches like a UFC fighter. It was pure, unadulterated rage, and the cameras didn't shy away from capturing every single moment. In the blink of an eye, Spice and Karlie were no longer just exchanging words. This wasn't the usual bickering you see on TV shows. This was violence in its rawest form. Spice's fury was evident in every movement she made as she lunged at Karlie, the audience, most of whom probably didn't see this coming, gasped in shock. The live broadcast suddenly turned into a chaotic frenzy. the cameras couldn't keep up with the madness as the fight intensified, and it was clear this wasn't going to be over anytime soon. Let's face it, when it comes to reality TV, nothing is as it seems. Could this have been planned? We know Spice is the queen of drama, and Karlie Redd, with her sharp tongue and history of getting under people's skin, is certainly no stranger to stirring the pot herself. But was this planned for ratings? It's hard to believe that someone would go as far as physically attack another person for the sake of drama, but in the world of reality TV, anything is possible. Maybe this was just another ploy to get people talking, to drive traffic, to keep the cameras rolling, and most importantly, to keep viewers hooked. But if this was all scripted, it didn't seem like it. Spice didn't seem to be playing it up for the camera. This wasn't some choreographed dramatic scene. This was a genuine physical altercation. And if it was staged, then it was one heck of an acting job, because the raw emotion and fury that came from Spice's attack were something you couldn't fake. The camera caught every moment, and no amount of editing would hide the intensity of what was happening. So now that we've set the stage and, just how explosive this situation became, let's talk about what happened right after the punches were thrown. We all know reality TV shows don't usually air moments like this without some serious consequences. Spice might have thought she could walk off the set and chalk it up to a heated moment, but the situation was far from over. Security rushed to the scene almost immediately. Spice, still fuming with rage, was physically restrained by security personnel who seemed to have no choice but to intervene, but the damage was already done. There was no going back from this point. The fight had escalated, and now it was no longer just about the drama, it was about the consequences. Physical violence on a live broadcast. You can imagine the chaos, backstage producers scrambling, crew members looking at each other in disbelief, and the audience in utter shock. Spice wasn't just a part of a TV show at this point. She was front and center in a real-life scandal that was unfolding right in front of our eyes. And here's where things really take a turn, with the cameras still rolling. And the world watching what happened next would shock everyone even more. All right, now that we've witnessed the explosive altercation between Spice and Karlie Redd, what happens after the chaos dies down? Was it just a one-off moment fueled by adrenaline? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Let's dive deeper into the fallout of this scandal and how the public, the media, and even the law enforcement got involved in what can only be described as one of the wildest moments in reality TV history. Let's not forget that Spice has never been the picture of calm and collected. She's built a career off of pushing boundaries, stirring controversy, and making sure she stays in the headlines, from her days on the hit reality series Love and Hip Hop to her clashing personalities. In other shows, Spice has been involved in countless on-screen blow-ups, catfights, and social media feuds. This latest incident, however, raised a lot of questions about just how far she was willing to go for attention. Was this a calculated move to maintain her fame? Or was it a pure loss of control? In the months leading up to this altercation, Spice had been seen publicly feuding with several cast members on the show. Her beef with Karlie Redd in particular had been simmering for a while, with both women throwing jabs at each other on social media, but no one could have predicted this was how things would end, with Spice physically attacking Karlie on live TV. But here's where things get interesting. Spice's reputation was already a mixed bag before this scandal. On one hand, she had a dedicated fan base that admired her no-nonsense attitude and bold personality, but on the other hand, she had amassed a reputation for being volatile, unpredictable, and at times downright dangerous. This latest incident just adds fuel to the fire that has been burning in her public persona for years. In the aftermath of the altercation, Spice's fans were torn. Some defended her actions, arguing that she had been provoked and had every right to defend herself. Others, however, were completely shocked by her actions. Was this the last straw? Could this altercation be the beginning of the end for Spice's career? Or would the public's short-term memory allow her to bounce back as you'd expect? Once this incident hit social media, it was game over. People couldn't stop talking about it. The hashtag #SpiceAdAttacks Clyde trended worldwide, with fans and critics alike weighing in on the altercation. The internet has no chill, and it didn't take long for people to voice their opinions loudly. Some fans came to Spice's defense, stating that Karlie had been egging Heron for months and that Spice had simply reached her boiling point. These people argued that in the world of reality TV, things were always set up to escalate, and Spice had merely acted out of anger and frustration. They even went as far as to say that Spice was justified in her actions. She was tired of Karlie's mouth. They said, on the other hand, there were many who felt that Spice had completely crossed the line. Physical violence, especially. A live broadcast was never acceptable no matter the circumstances. These critics took to social media to express their disgust, calling out Spice for losing control and putting herself and the network in a terrible position. Many argued that this was yet another example of reality. TV stars going too far in a bid for attention. One tweet summed it up perfectly. Spice's anger issues are no joke. This is not okay. She needs to be held accountable for her actions. The general consensus seemed to be that Spice had allowed herself to lose it completely. She wasn't the cool, composed TV personality we had come to expect. No, she was an unhinged figure, someone whose temper had finally gotten the best of her, and that was something no one could defend. As the public backlash continued to grow, law enforcement eventually stepped in. But what happened next was almost ass-hocking as the altercation itself. Spice was arrested for her actions on live TV. While it's not every day that reality stars get arrested for their on-screen behavior, Spice's outburst was too much for authorities to ignore. Sources close it to. The production crew revealed that the police were immediately called to the set after the incident. The altercation had escalated so quickly that security wasn't enough to subdue Spice. It took several officers to restrain her and escort her out of the building. The question everyone was asking was, will Spice face legal consequences for her actions? Well, it seems like the law had a different opinion about the whole situation. Spice was charged with assault following the attack on Karlie Redd. As the news broke, the internet exploded with speculation. Fans began wondering whether Spice would face jail time or fines, or whether this was just another media circus to keep her in the public eye. Now let's talk about this for a second. Arresting a reality TV star for something that took place on camera may sound absurd to some, but the authorities couldn't just look the other way. Spice's attack was a crime, and no one, especially in the public eye, could get away with it, at least not without facing some sort of consequence. But here's the thing, Spice wasn't the only one to blame. Karlie Redd had a role in this too. We've seen the footage, we've seen the back and forth. While Spice may have thrown the first punch, Karlie wasn't exactly innocent in this either. In fact, some people were quick to point out that Karlie had been provoking Spice for weeks, baiting her into a confrontation. Was Karlie trying to create a viral moment for herself? Did she deliberately set up Spice to lose her cool? We might never know the full truth, but one thing's for sure. Both of these women are no strangers to drama, and this whole ordeal feels like just another chapter in their ongoing feud. In the days following the attack, the public had one question. What's next for Spice? Is her career over, or would she find a way to come back from the scandal? The network where this altercation took place faced an immense amount of backlash. Viewers were livid and critics were questioning whether reality TV in general had gone too far. We've seen how other reality stars have fallen from grace due to similar controversies, but Spice was different. She had been in the public eye for years, and she had a dedicated fan base that was not willing to let her go so easily. But let's face it, public perception plays a huge role in a reality star's career. Spice may have gotten temporary sympathy from a handful of fans, but for most people, the whole situation was simply unacceptable. Could this be the beginning of the end for her career, or in typical reality TV fashion, would she be able to turn this scandal into yet another comeback story? The media storm that surrounded Spice's arrest only added fuel to the fire. News outlets were all over the story, with some labeling Spice as the bad girl of reality TV and others calling her behavior unprofessional and dangerous. Whether she was in the wrong or not, Spice's public image was in shambles, and there was no telling how this would impact her future opportunities. For now, Spice is facing the consequences of her actions. The law has had its say, and the public has weighed in. Will she bounce back? Will she be able to recover from this scandal? Or will it mark the end of her time in the limelight? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Spice won't go quietly. As the drama continues to unfold around Spice's arrest and the shocking altercation with Karlie Redd, their reality TV world has been rocked to its core. The public outrage has been undeniable, but the real question remains, can Spice redeem herself from this scandal? Or is her career truly at an all-time low? Let's break down the aftermath, the consequences, and what lies ahead for this controversial figure in the entertainment industry. First, we need to talk about the legal ramifications of Spice's actions. While Spice may be known for her fiery personality and her dramatic outbursts on reality TV, the law doesn't care about TV ratings. Viral moments assault is assault, and in this case, Spice's actions on live TV could have serious legal consequences. But there's where it gets interesting. Despite the charges, there are some who believe that Spice might get off easy. You see, in the world, reality TV scandals are a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the more attention your incident gets them, or likely it is that you'll remain relevant in the public eye. On the other hand, if the courts decide to take action, Spice could be facing more than just a slap on the wrist. The question everyone is asking now is, will she face jail time, or will this be swept under the rug? For the sake of the network's image, Spice's supporters have come forward arguing that she should be given a second chance after. All reality TV is known for creating over-the-top situations, and this was just another one of those out-of-control moments that the producers likely knew was coming. But the reality is harsh, and the public isn't ready to forgive someone just because their TV star Spice's behavior may have been part of the reality TV shtick. But when the law gets involved, it's a whole different ballgame. Could this be the moment that changes everything for her? Only time will tell. But let's not forget the media frenzy. Spice was arrested. The media storm that followed was unrelenting. News outlets, gossip blogs, and even mainstream media outlets picked up the story. And of course, the public's thirst for drama made it impossible for anyone to look away. The headline is screamed. Things like Spice attacks Karlie Redd on live TV, Spice arrested. While other outlets focused on the more salacious details of the altercation, there was no way this scandal was going to fade into obscurity anytime. Soon, memes, tweets, and viral videos flooded the internet, creating a frenzy of online chatter. Spice had become a punchline for so many, with people all over the world mocking her actions. Karlie Redd, on the other hand, became the victim, with fans rallying around her. It didn't take long for the Justice for Lee to trend on Twitter, as people showed support for her and condemned Spice's behavior. But here's the kicker. Despite the online outrage, Spice has somehow managed to stay relevant. This is the strange paradox of reality TV. Fame and bad publicity can often be just as beneficial as good publicity. Spice's name has never been more widely recognized, and her social media following has skyrocketed. As much as people love to hate her, they just can't get enough of her drama. This scandal might be the exact thing she needs to reboot her career, but at what cost? This brings us to the bigger question: what's next for Spice the Truth? She's not the only one who's feeling the pressure. The network that aired this altercation is under intense scrutiny, as well, with millions of viewers watching the drama unfold. The producers and executives behind the show have been forced to address the scandal head on. The question everyone's asking is whether Spice's arrest will lead to her permanent removal from the show, or whether she'll simply be recast into a more dramatic role for future seasons. If history has taught us anything, it's that reality TV shows are prone to keeping controversial figures around. Spice could very well be brought back to keep the drama going. But there's also a possibility that the network will distance themselves from her in order to protect their brand. At the end of the day, it's all about ratings, and Spice has proven that she can deliver those in spades. The fallout doesn't stop there, though. Spice isn't just facing the wrath of the public and the law. She's also dealing with the backlash from her peers in the industry. The truth is, reality TV stars often form close-knit communities, and Spice's actions have alienated some of her fellow cast members. They've spoken out, expressing their disappointment and anger over the way things went down. Karlie Redd, of course, has been vocal in expressing her side of the story, claiming that Spice's actions were completely unprovoked and unwarranted. Other stars in the industry have also weighed in, with some suggesting that Spice's anger issues have been an ongoing problem for years. But while some are quick to distance themselves from Spice, there are others who are more sympathetic to her situation. Some of her loyal followers have even gone so far as to blame Karlie for the altercation, arguing that she was the one who started the drama. It's clear that Spice has a divided fan base, with some fiercely defending her actions and others calling for her to face the consequences. Now let's talk about what happens next. Poor Spice. Will she be able to bounce back from this scandal, or has she burned too many bridges? The truth is reality. TV stars have a short shelf life, and Spice is no exception. While she may be able to stay in the public eye for a while, the clock is ticking. The public's attention span is notoriously short, and it's only a matter of time before they move on to the next big thing. But let's be real, here Spice's resilience is unmatched. We've seen her come back from other controversies in the past, and she's shown time and time again that she has the staying power to remain relevant. Will she take this scandal and turn it into another comeback story? It's possible. In fact, it might just be the perfect opportunity for her to reinvent herself and continue her reign as one of reality TV's most polarizing figures. The big question now is whether the public will accept her redemption story or if they've had enough of the drama Spice's fate lies in the hands of her fans, the media, and the legal system. But one thing is, for sure this is far from the last time we'll hear about Spice and her wild antics. So what's next for Spice? The road ahead is uncertain. But if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Spice will not go quietly. Whether she faces the consequences of her actions or uses this scandal as an opportunity to come back stronger than ever, her story is far from over. So what do you think? Is Spice's career over, or will she use this shocking scandal to make a comeback? Let us know in the comments below. Was the attack on Karlie Redd completely out of line, or was it just another reality TV moment blown out of proportion? Don't forget to like this video if you want to see more updates on the latest drama in the Novexa reports. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for all the breaking news and wild stories. Stay tuned because we've got even more jaw-dropping content coming your way.